Good morning, everyone. How are you? Jackie Bloom here. And it is Friday. How was your week? And I hope your weekend's even better. Say hi if you're around. If you're replay watching, I'd love to know that too. If you just put it in the comments. Just giving the computer a second to make sure that I'm where I need to be. And we will get started. We are talking about journey today. I don't mean going on a journey. There we are. Perfect. Let's just make my screen a little bigger so I can keep an eye on staying in focus. Looks like I'm pretty good. Maybe need to go up just a little bit more. As always, through the end of April, thank you for shopping with me and supporting me in my business. I hope that you will venture over with me on my journey to Stampin' Up! Starting May 1st. So, today we're talking about journey. And journey is the color of the year in case you don't know. I am with Close to My Heart through the end of this month. And journey is the color of the year. It's a very pretty blue. I almost want to say kind of a tealy peacock kind of blue, but it's kind of its own thing. And that's good. So I bought the bundle and I wanted to show you what it is, and then I'll show you some cards today and a little technique as well. This is, hopefully you can see that as I fumble it. Hopefully you can see that through there. Lots of good little bits. The words on here are colors are the smiles of nature. That'd be really pretty with a bunch of tulips and all your flowers outside. And I especially liked it for this that I figured I can go forward with, which is let the journey begin. So, although I've been with Close to My Heart for nearly 28 years, I will be starting over as a newbie and a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. All right. If you want this stamp set, it is CC4244. Okay, so I'll just leave that up there. I didn't really use it today, but you know, I've been pulling out old stuff. So what does this bundle get you? It gets you the stamp set, a sticker sheet, which I love our sticker sheet because it's so nice and thick, and I don't know if you can see. Let me see on the camera. Yes, maybe. There's resist on some of these. So like this one's half and half. This one has dot resist, stripe resist, that kind of thing. This one has these are some 12 by 12 borders that have little heart resist. I love these little pieces. You can see that they go all the way around. So when you punch them out, they've got full color everywhere. Same with this. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see. Okay, so really nice combination. They have filled this sheet the best that they could. I think they do a great job on their sticker sheets. All right, so there's some pattern paper, and I've already used 3 sheets and kind of cut it up, so I'll just have to imagine that there's 3 more. This is the front side of the pattern. Especially wanted to show you that one because it is kind of an ombre. Almost looks like clouds. I think if you turned it around this way, you could really do something cool with a scrapbook page. And then when you turn them over, you have these patterns. So some bright pretty colors. They're all based on white. And here's a peek at the zip strips, which is usually the wasteful part of paper if they even have that on there. But in case you're not familiar with Close to My Heart, this is where it tells you what the packet is, what the number is, that it's 6 sheets of 12 by 12, and the colors are Journey and Daisy White. And over here it also tells you the year, 2024. So just some good bits of information, and that it is Close to My Heart paper, which their cardstock is relatively thick, almost as much as regular cardstock, so that's nice. And next in this packet, again, this one's a little short because I cut it already, but this is Resist tone on tone paper. So it's got that shiny, there you go, shiny resist on it in some nice patterns. And then on the back is just our 30% lighter shade. Okay, so that's that. And then there is a couple, 3 pieces of a gold print and 2 silver prints. I love this one. That one should be right there, front and center, right? And the backs of these again are just the plain cardstock. So if you absolutely don't like that, although I don't know why you would, you can turn it over and just use plain. And then you get several sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets of the cardstock. So again, our cardstock is true strength of the color, and then 30% lighter with a white core in the middle. All right, enough chit-chatting about all of that. If you have any more questions, just put them in down below or give me a holler. All right, so there's that. So now let's show you some cards and then that little tip I was telling you about. Oh, and you know what? I lost a couple of these. This one has been just beat around everywhere. So let's just show you a little side note here of adding sequins to this card. And yeah, they got really mangled. So this is just dots adhesive. They're just circles. And I'm going to take my pick tool and just find the color I want. Make sure I'm on camera. Yes, I'm on camera. And then, oops, give me 2. I'm going to take the one and stick it on there. And then you could peel it off with that, but I like to use my pokey tool. We're just going to come down and put that on there. Put that one back. And again, it's just a matter of picking up what you want, putting it on the sticky, peeling it off. I'm looking forward to some other things to play with. Should have been a smaller one, but that's okay. All right, so that's how you get your adhesives, your sequins back on there. That is another something you could buy is all these, oh, look at that, and they will stick everywhere, I'm telling you. So check your fingers, your clothes, your face. And what I need to do is put a little anti-static in there, just sprinkle a little in there, and then they won't do that. And here's all the colors. There's even some hearts in there. So hopefully you can see that. And there's kind of just an array of colors in that journey, and then the white cream that they have with it. Okay. So here is a card sample. This one I used a stencil, and you can see, let me hold this up, you can see a little better. So I just I did this stencil kind of darker, lighter, all the way down. So it gave a lot of contrast. A little bit of the cardstock, a little bit of glitter, the matching ink, the matching sequins, and you are done. There's card number 1. Here's one that I did for class, and this is just using still that glitter paper, journey paper, and these are the journey enamel dots that are quite flat. Hopefully you could see. So that's nice for mailing. And on here I use the Journey shimmer brush and just splatted it on there, which that gives that a little bit of color, a little bit of sparkle color. And I also took avocado on this green, which I believe is it's jade, and it's not jade, limeade, I think is that color. So there's just another one, just a sample. And then the one that'll be coming in upcoming class this week is this card, which there again uses all those patterns and some of the glitter paper, the resist paper, tone on tone stamping. So this is 1st and 2nd generation. And then out of the glitter paper, I just punched a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch punch, added my words, and there's that card. And then the one I'm going to show you today, here is just kind of a basic. So what I'm showing you is how to cut this out every time and get it just right. And again, I just pulled out some old dies. I added some sequins again, some words in the matching color, and I think that one looks pretty good. The next one, when I show you how to do this, I'm going to step this up just a little bit more. Again, right here on that scallop, I put it in my shimmer box and flicked some of that pretty shine on, and I don't know if you can quite see it. Okay, so there's your first picks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will pull those back in, just set them up here, so that way I remember to do that. And we will get started on, where's my piece of paper I cut out? So you're going to need a trimmer. Hold on, go find my piece of paper. Here it is. Okay. So pretend that this is the texture paper. I just wanted to show you on something that you could really see and that I could show you what I did. Okay, so this is 4 by 5 1/4, leaving that same as this one was, 4 by 5 1/4 to leave that little bit of a reveal. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to my grid paper. Let's see, hopefully you can see this. I'll do it, yeah, let's move this up so you can see without moving my paper right off of the edge. So on this left side, bottom left, and this is just one of those jelly rollers, and this is what I did on this pattern paper here. I just went up, I'm going to move this over so I can see where my quarters are, because each little square here is a quarter. So I'm going to go up 2 1/4, and I am just going to make the faintest little, hopefully you can see it, dot. See that? Okay. I don't need this anymore. All right. So remember, that's the left bottom corner. Okay. Now in my trimmer, I'm going to put this at, let me just double check, 1 1/2. So here's the 1, here's the half. Now I've got to rotate it, keeping this at 1 1/2 and guiding this over until it gets in the trimmer blade. Okay. And cut. Now, in order to do the card like I did this one, pull this back down. I'm afraid that paper's going to go flunk. In order to do this, you need to cut two of this. So this was your pattern paper, because if you, I tried to do this like a silly Billy, and hello, they don't fit any way you do it. They will not magically fit. So if you do two, you can have one this way and one pattern going, you know, the other way, but the right way. I know, that doesn't make sense. All right, so get rid of that. So I've already got my card with my cardstock base. So that's stepping it up a notch from here, okay? So we're just adding another layer. I'm just checking to see if anybody's here. All right, so then I cut out 2 pieces. So then, and then, I cut out 2 pieces so that way they're going the right way. Okay? And stepping it up a little bit, I cut out 1/8 of an inch of shimmer paper. And then this circle, oh, what is it? It is an old one, scallop circle frame. I cut it out of Journey instead of the white. And then the circle, so this one, you have to punch out 2. So I had to punch out this, and I had to punch a white one to get a perfect circle. Or you can do a little bit bigger circle. And I just took from the pack of circles, and I just leave everything in there. Who knows, I might use it again. So this one is a 2-inch circle, and it's a little bigger, but if that makes it a little easier on you, and then you could, maybe you don't like those stitch lines, this will totally cover that up and give you a bigger surface here, or you can stick it behind. then it kind of gives you where those little dashes are. It makes them white, so that way you don't have like a pattern and a pattern poking through. So either way, you can do it either way, okay? It's just an option. All right, so let me show you. Oh, and then I cut out a couple more things. I'm also using the April stamp of the month, which are these hedgehogs. So cute. And I used hello on the first card. I'm going to use a little something for you. Generic, it could be anything. Okay? And this one, if you want it, is Z7148. And that's if you want it with the thin cuts. If you're a VIP and you spend $50, you only pay for the thin cuts. So the price in the catalog would be $5 left because you get the stamp set for free. And if you just wanted to order the stamp set, it is S2404. But at regular price, it's going to be $19.95. And you can also, one other option is at $50, you can just get it for free if you're a VIP and not get the thin cuts. Hopefully that made sense for you. Okay, so I stamped out a daisy and stamped it in, or die cut a daisy and stamped it in Journey, and then I took the two leaves from there and did those in glitter paper because we want to bring a little more of that glitter paper in, right? All right. So trick number one is I'm going to put my adhesive on this one. I am going to position this one where I want it, you know, with that nice reveal around. And then this one, and it's going to take me a second here. All right, like that. And then I'm going to take this one, and you know that it matches up, but if you match it up, it's a little bit not enough on the bottom. So I'm going to go underneath with this one. So I would rather have more of a pretty one showing. So I'm going to just hold it there and drop it down there, see if I like it. Now, keep in mind that it might not look straight because of this dotted pattern. Sometimes they're not, you know, they're not straight, some of our patterns, and that's okay. So just do it to your eyeball if that's the case. This one, I can't really do that because I've got to match up this, you know, these edges here. So I'm going to, again, just put it over the edge, see if I like it. That will work. And then I push it down, okay? So next, we're going to add this little zip, or this little 1/8 of an inch glitter paper. But here's another tip. Don't put glue on here. Instead, we know right where it's going. I just take my glue, and if it doesn't come out, you know, in a line, just put dots. And putting dots in the middle of other dots, how funny is that? I just think that's funny. And I'll show you what that looks like. Hopefully you can see those little dots. That way, this is not sticky. And you don't have excess going over the edge, because I want to kind of go over the edge with it a little bit and cut it off so that I can get it nice and tight on there. Glue that down good. Okay, and then take my non-stick scissors and trim off that little bit of extra. 1 and 2. And now this isn't full of glue, so I can use it again. Okay, so that's just stepping it up a little bit. We added this extra layer and a little bit of that. And the next thing we're going to do is stamp our words. And I like to have a little piece of paper over here on the side to kind of stamp with, make sure I get the feel of stuff. This is a solid one, so you want to let it stay to transfer all that ink. You don't want to slam stamp it, although these are good stamps and it did work. But yeah, so, and here's another tip. If you can't see the white on white, pull it off the table or to a darker surface and do it that way. So again, I'm leaving it to transfer because it's a solid image, not a lined image, which wouldn't need as much. And I'm probably exaggerating a little bit. And there you go. Clean that off. Excuse me a second. Stick that away. All right, now we have this for inside of here. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but your tape runner is a 1/2 inch. So it's kind of nice to know that for when you're doing stuff. I mean, if it was smaller, you could go front ways and just do a little bit. But it's nice to know that. All right, so we're going to put this down where we want. I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. And then you could raise this up. You could put it straight flat down. I think I'll put it straight today because I might raise up my flower. And again, I like to use my grid paper to keep myself straight. That just fits right in there because it was cut out of the middle of it. And then we have the flower, which I thought I would do a little bit too. So I tried a couple things, and this ink is really dark ink, okay? So I pulled out the shimmer brush, and how these work is there's a push right there, but you only need to push it when you need more out. It has glitter, so you shake it up, and I pull from the ends, so that way I'm not pushing that middle section. And I'm going to take this block, and I'm going to put just a little bit on there. And then close your lid. I usually store them like this, so that way I don't have, if I store it like this, I don't want stuff pulling in there. I pull it apart and it just goes splash everywhere. So that's how I store mine. Then I'm going to take a paintbrush and a little bit of water, or a lot of bit of water, because I want to dilute that color. And I'm going to just tap it off on my rag so it's not too wet, because this is not watercolor paper. And that's a little, that's not bad. And if you want just a smidge more, because I did get a pretty good glow. So in other words, I'm just painting with it, and I'm just making it the colors that I want. So a little darker, a little lighter. And the trick with doing watercolor on regular cardstock is the less water the better, so that way your piece doesn't, get all yucky. And I want just a little bit of the darkest color without water, really, right around this edge. I'm just going to do that. And you could, if you're dangerous enough, if you want, tap it in there. And kind of move it around while it's wet. Okay, so I just need a little bit of color. I'm going to wash off my paintbrush over here so I don't have that color in there. Excuse me just a second while that dries. Okay, so we'll let that dry for a second, and I'm just going to take this over to my wet rag and wipe it off of there. Don't leave glitter or ink on here on your blocks, because it will stain, especially if you have any cracks in your blocks. So I wouldn't ever set this just on your wet, whatever you're using to clean it up with, because after time you will get scratches, and the water will seep into those scratches, and then you'll get a cloudy stamp. Now you can take your heat tool and heat it up, and it'll take that cloud away. It'll dry it until it gets in there again. So just a couple tips with your blocks. All right, let's raise that up. So I'm just going in here. These are my shaker windows for circles. And what's nice is you get this nice ring to put your shaker, to make your shaker bits, but then you get all this extra adhesive that you can use for your projects. So I am just going to put one in the middle. I'm going to pull this over here in case it's still wet. I'm going to put one in the middle. That's probably a little thick. I didn't put it down. Oop, I did put it down too hard. That's what happens. They're very sticky. So, but I want to cut that down a little bit. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut off that part that got unsticky. Okay, get rid of that. And the reason why I want it a little smaller is because I'm going to tuck these up underneath, and I want room to do that. And I may even have to go right on there. Or what I'm going to do is just cut it off. Because this is a smaller flower and there's a bigger flower, I just want, you know, a little bit. So I'm just going to cut those little ends off. Who says you can't cut it off, right? I'm just going to figure that out. I like it about like that. Oh, excuse me, just a second. Make it a video color that. Sorry about that. All right, so I like that. So let's just get some adhesive all on this side. I'm just piling it up a big chunk of adhesive. And I want that to stick like so. And then we can take off our that part. And here's a tip that I like to do as well. When I have something glued, because see it's kind of flopping up a little bit there, because there's no glue on that one part, I would take another piece of adhesive, or foam tape, and I will put it over the top. Gives me a little more stability for my flower. Oops. And it sandwiches that in between so they don't fall off. Not that I think they will, but you know, a little more stuff on it. And we'll pull this in and put that down there. And then if you wanted more shimmer, you could do more shimmer. Oh, and I wanted to show you one more thing before I get finished today, and that is how I put my shimmer onto something white, like I did on this one here. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my shimmer box, my spray box, and it is very pretty inside. This is just one of our delivery boxes, and I'm going to use my bone folder. I'm going to shake up my glitter because we want all that glitter coming out. I'm going to pull from the ends, and then I'm just going to use this. Now, if you hold it really tight and hit it hard, you're going to get little tiny ones. There we go. Ooh, sorry, I got my fan on. Little tiny ones. If you hold it a little looser and tap it, you'll get bigger splatters. Okay, so it's all in what you play with. And the other thing that you can do, and I know I'm going to smear it, but I just wanted to show you this. If you take the edge of this along the edge of here, you can make yourself a nice straight edge that I would say 90% of the time does not, you know, do a boo-boo on your front side. And then you have this, let me see, put this away. Then you have, try not to touch it and get it all over my fingers. Put your splatter box away. And let me see, bring up something where you can see the edge. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it on there. Maybe off a little bit. So it just puts a little rim around that, let's see, This is white. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, here we go. So see, can you see that little rim around there that it gave you? It just adds a little something to it. Makes it pretty. And then, one more tip. When you use something like a bone folder, you're going to get stuff on it. So make sure that you wipe that off. Wipe your fingers off because you don't want to get that everywhere. And then let that dry. Don't play with it right away like I did. Let it dry. All right. So that is class today. Again, I always like to see which one you like the best. Gives me, ideas on what to teach. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now I could go back and add, there's also Journey glitter dots. I could take my cardstock and punch holes like I did in this one with a hole punch, or there's also Journey dots. Those are those flatter ones. So let's add one of those. Just because we can, right? So I'm going to get my pokey tool again and sit down so I can figure out what we want to do. And let's see. I think I've got enough glitter on there. I don't think I want to use the glitter. So these are nice because they're on clear sheets and you can cut them out, or you can just kind of lay them around and see what you want. You could also use white. You could use, like I said, the glitter ones. I think I'm just going to use a little baby heart and just add it right there. Okay, usually I tell you to do groups of 3, but I've got some glitter, some nice contrast, and so that kind of makes 3. Alrighty, I'm going to get my fingers out of the way. So if you want to take a screenshot of those cards, you can. And again, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you'll watch for me next Friday. We've got, one more Friday before I am no longer a Close to My Heart girl. So, which is your favorite? And thank you as always for shopping with me. I appreciate it. And there you are. Have a great day, everyone.